This is Josh Hunter, presently in the city of Santa Monica, California. So sometimes I get the sense that, a lot of people like to guess as to, they're not necessarily acknowledging that I exist, but I don't know, I get a sense that people are trying to guess as to what I want or what I'm going to do. It's a lot of guessing, oh, I think that you're going to do this. And when I'm talking to people, generally, this is the feeling that I get. Oh, I'm guessing that you're going to do this. I'm guessing that you're going to say this. So, about 2 or 3 years ago, I was in Hollywood, and at that time I was mainly hanging out around Hollywood and Vine. It was just because I had several spots where I would locate in Hollywood. When I first came to Hollywood, I was in fact only on that bench at Franklin and Highland for 6 months. I landed, I showed up there June, had to have been maybe June 17th or June 20th or something. And I spent every day there on that bench. June 20th, I'm not sure exactly, it's between June 15th and June 20th of 2015. I spent every day on that bus bench at Franklin and Highland until December 12th, I think, in 2015. And that was just a spot where I would hang out. And then I moved around and, Anyway, so at this time, the part of Hollywood, or the part of Hollywood Boulevard anyway, that I was hanging out was... In fact, it was closer to Hollywood and Argyle. It was Hollywood and Argyle. It was the time when they were building that I sat in front of that building every day. I don't know what it's called, but there's a new apartment complex they were building. Not the Argyle House, because I used to hang out when they were building Argyle House. Because that view from that bus bench used to be there was a great view of Hollywood, but they built that you can't see anything anymore. By the Pantages Theater, but there was a new building that they just built there. It was Cortez or something. The Cortez, is that what it's called? Anyway, so I was sitting there pretty much during the entire duration of the. I moved around. I went to the bath, but I was sitting there during the entire duration they were building this building, and so, I was during this time I was still trying to figure out oh, is there something that I should be doing? Do I have some responsibility? What am I supposed to do? And so I was thinking, oh, fuck. I was thinking to myself, my plan was, I was gonna get something $12 million, and I was gonna build a giant metal skull, and live in this skull, and launch it into outer space, and live in orbit between the moon and the Earth, and just be kind of a security guard. And I think that either my name or the name of the ship was going to be Sentinel Skull Smythe. That was my plan. That's what I was going to do. I said to myself, this would be a good idea. Okay, I should save up my money, invest in space technology, but not something that can go too far into outer space. But you need someone to guard the Earth, but who isn't necessarily involved in all the things down there. So I started making lists of all the TV I would need and all the should I be should people know? Should I? How do I? What is my? How do I? What is the legality of living in between the Earth and the moon? Should other people be allowed on this ship, or should it just be me? Investing in artificial intelligence, all these different things. And so I was thinking about this heavily during this time. So I'm assuming it's had to have been 2017. 2017, 2018. It was just gonna be a giant, like, chrome metal, reflective metal skull. And I don't know. I guess either I took it more seriously than I thought, or because I didn't tell anybody about this. But sometimes, people, they just they like to guess. Oh, what are you gonna do? And I think somebody guessed that this is what I was going to do, that I wanted to do this. And I've been wondering, what, there've been some unusual things that have been happening, and I'm wondering, what is this? And it kind of seems like I'm being stared at by a lot of people. But I'm thinking, how could all these people be staring at me but not recognizing me? And I was trying to think about what form does this match? What form would this be? And it's the form of as if I was on a giant skull ship. People would be staring at me, but they wouldn't recognize me. But they would still be in this, So the reason why I decided not to do this is because the reason why I decided not to raise millions of dollars and invest probably about 20 years it would take to get this right, is because I think I should do it, but in the ocean instead. I should still build a giant metal skull, Sentinel Skull Smythe, but it should be in the Pacific Ocean instead of in between the Earth and the Moon. It's an underground, an underwater skull base. But then the thing is, I don't really want to do all that. I'm still a bum. I keep thinking, one day I'm gonna wake up and I'm I'm not a bum, but I am. When you think about oh, am I a bum? When you think about, if you're wondering oh, is Josh Hunter a bum? Does he feel like he's a bum? And if he is not a bum, at what point did he realize that he was not a bum? Now, I can't tell you when that happened, but I can tell you it was kind of the realization. I'm not sure if you saw the third Terminator movie, when Arnold Schwarzenegger's character is I am a machine. Because he's always oh, he's trying to be human, but he's not. But he has a realization. He's I am. Yeah. All right. So, and actually, speaking of the Terminator, see, the thing that people don't realize about robot. Anyway, so I just wanted to bring this up because sometimes a thing has to be spoken so that people don't. I don't want people thinking that I'm still trying to build a giant metal skull to orbit the Earth and live in outer space. I need this to be said outright because some people still think that I'm, an extraterrestrial, and I don't know why this is. I'm willing to have my blood tested, by the way, because usually that's the thing that confirms whether or not you're an alien or not. I will gladly have my blood tested. I'm not afraid of having my blood tested to prove that I'm not an extraterrestrial. And once this happens, I'm hoping to kind of get a picture of the faces of the people who have been very sincerely believing that I'm an extraterrestrial being. I really want to see the looks, because I'm telling you, something has been going on which is much more severe than just a couple of people thinking, oh, this guy might be an alien. There are very severe things, severe observations, and I can fucking see them too. I'm not gonna say anything. I want to see how far these guys are gonna go. Maybe I'm being paranoid. 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 Anyway, so I don't know, why would I want to know what their evidence is that says this guy is an extraterrestrial, because they haven't even tested my blood. That would be the first thing you do, is you have some situation where there's a demand to have my blood tested. And if you guys really, like, I had my blood drawn like a couple of, like 2011, 2010. There should be a record of my blood, like, somewhere. Like, I've had my blood test. Well, of course, maybe. Oh, they're thinking maybe I got switched out. It's like a different body. Maybe it's like the real Josh was like, you know, and I'm like a duplicate. I thought of that. I'm still willing to have my blood tested. I don't give a fuck. I mean, if there's someone who is like, I really need to know if you're an extraterrestrial being, then just let's set something up. Have my blood tested. Doesn't bother me. Because there are people who are basing real decisions off of the belief that I am an alien. They are doing things like as if this is an already confirmed fact. And when it is proven to not be a fact, the things that they have built, they're going to fall apart, is what I'm saying. It's going to fall apart. Another thing I wanted to bring up, and I know this gets talked about a lot, but, you know, the World Trade Center incident has not been resolved, by the way. Like, people keep moving on as if, like, oh, we already took care of it. Like, you don't have a clearly defined idea, a clearly defined understanding. Okay, it's not resolved, so of course things are all going to be out of whack until it's resolved. Okay, I haven't studied the Kennedy assassination, but that too is something that is not resolved. And when things go unresolved, that's when you get chaos. Okay, chaos is the indicator that there are things which are demanding resolution, and I don't understand why it hasn't been resolved yet. So, like, who's really the alien? Like, when you go to someone's house and their house is all shitty, you're not going to consider it like your responsibility to make sure that their house gets all, like, nice. Okay, you want to find some fucking aliens? Why aren't these things resolved? Like, who's really the alien here? Obviously, the facts are there. If you're even, like, remotely good at geometry, you'd be able to point to whoever it is, whoever's responsible for this. Like, I'm talking like names. Okay, like fucking names. Because once you decide that you're gonna fucking accuse me of all this, guess what I get to do? Let's pretend like I'm like some type of Earth cop. Alright, like I present myself as like a type of extraterrestrial to draw out all the people who want to, because usually the person who's accusing is the person who's guilty. Generally speaking, the person who's wagging their finger the greatest is the person who is, you know, the fucking guilty person, the perpetrator, the suspect. So, if we presume that I'm like a type of police for the Earth, what do you think I have permission to do now? Now that I've had years and years and years of people assuming and, you know, making presumptions and building lives based upon this idea, concept that I'm alien. What do you think I'm going to be able to do now? How many fucking closets do you think I'm going to be able to go through? Am I a crazy person? Am I a crazy person? Am I a crazy person? How about this? Once I'm done dismantling Christianity, I'm going to figure out who really perpetrated September 11th. And then I'm going to point the finger. And I'm going to say it was these fucks. It was these fucks. 34 years old, and I've got the best grades on earth.